Hi there, welcome to the RPS project. I'm Richard and today I've got resistors. These things. Aluminium clad are they, or just, well, metal clad? They're covered in something. Big wattage resistors. These ones are 2.2 ohm, 2R2 it says on there, 15 watt, and I've got 10 of them. Now my idea is to take a load of these and to make a dummy load out of them. So some 4mm banana sockets and a piece of aluminium to use as my base to mount them onto. That'd be brilliant. Put some legs on and I'll have a dummy load. Now this is actually from a case, case like this. You get one side that's fixed and one side that slides out, so you can populate the sheet and then slide it back in and that'll be fine. Only I did a job where I drilled into the other side. It didn't go well and I've ended up with the metal sheet and no job because I messed it up. It's a terrible thing to do because these things are not cheap, believe me. These aluminium extruded cases are expensive things, so a bit annoyed about that, but I do have the metal sheet to use to make as the base for this, as a heat sink for all these resistors. So what I'm going to have to do now is make a template, work out how I want them to be arranged, and then I'll have a dummy load for circuits, audio circuits. So, you know, 4 ohm, 8 ohm combinations of whatever is required or whatever I want to put there, with 10 2.2 ohm resistors. I've got quite a range of resistance, haven't I? And they're 15 watts, so I mean, at the very least, if I'm doing 4 ohms, it'll be 4.4 ohms. I'm going to have at least 30 watts because 15 watts each, so I mean there's quite a bit of power dissipation there. So yeah, better get on and design the template and work out how I'm going to populate this board. So let's get on with it. So here we have my metal plate and my resistors, connectors, and now I've got to work out how I'm going to put it on here, what arrangement I'm going to have. Make some sort of template. Work out, well, yeah, what arrangement's going to fit best on here, I suppose. I'm thinking lengthways because basically it's a long piece of metal, piece of aluminium, and something like, I put these together, so because my idea is to have 2 of them together at least, so you've got 4 ohms, 4.4 ohms here, and then I could, if I put, this is my thoughts on what I want to have, is something, I suppose, get them all on, a bit like that, so I can have 4 and then another 4, so I have 8 ohm, or I could have, if I wanted to use a 2 ohm, I use 4 and 4, I've got 8 plus that side 16, or a combination of anything in between, I suppose. Excuse me. And then yeah, something like that, I think. That would, yeah, I think that would work alright, and then I can connect between these two, and then obviously this comes from this point, from this socket to this socket, same on that side, and then I can just use jumper leads to connect in whatever variation I want, you know, in there to there, and then take from there and back out, or there, into there, from there into there, then from there to there. Or even if I just want the one, so I could have 10, well, works out about 11 ohms, doesn't it? It's got 2.2, but well, you know, you get the idea. So now I've got to get that onto paper, so I need to do some measurements. Now I have done a few measurements, started to measure up, work out how big these resistors are and the socket hole size, and I just need to come up with a plan of this, probably on tracing paper, so it's actual size, and then I might try and fix that onto here somehow. Double-sided sticky tape maybe, stick it on there and make that fit on here. So better get designing, hadn't I? But I won't bore you with the chores of measuring and drawing out. I think we'll just cut scene straight to the next part. Like so. Now, by the magic, he invested in me. Here's my drawing. Now actually I think that goes that way, like that. So yeah, I suppose I've now got to do is attach that onto there. See, what I've got is, where the holes are is where these are. So I've got the first one and the second one, and then where this point crosses this line, that's the centre point for these holes. So I suppose now I'm going to have to stick that onto there. Now I'm thinking of using double-sided sticky tape, so it's probably the easiest way to stick this onto there. Like that. So let's find some double-sided sticky tape and get this stuck down. But that's got my double-sided sticky tape, got that stuck on almost squarely. Good enough, I think. So now I just need to get my hole punch, I think, mark the holes. I haven't decided yet, should I go with a screw and nut, or should I tap the aluminium? It's not that thick. Let's have a look. It is 1.8, 1.9, so supposedly about 2 mil. So 1.8 mil thick. It's not a lot to tap onto to get a thread, so it might have to be a nut and screw job, or nut and bolt, depends how you define it. Yeah, so I think I need to go and hunt down some threaded bolts, threaded screws, machine screws I believe they're usually called, so perhaps I'll have to get and find some that are going to go in here, and some nuts to go on. It'd be nice if I had locking nuts, but no me, I probably haven't. And then work out how I'm going to mark this up. Right, better get hunting through a bag of bits. Back in a moment. So here we go, I've got a bunch of screws. Now this is an M3, and I'm thinking M3, that should be fine. I'll go in there. Actually no, it doesn't. It's an M2. It'll need an M2. I could drill it out, but you've not got a great deal of meat around that anyway. So really I need an M2. Now I've got some M2s, but nowhere near enough to do this lot. Yeah, see, M2 fits quite nicely. M3 doesn't even begin to go in. So, wow, I'm gonna have to go hunt down some M2 screws and nuts. Bagger. Never mind. What I shall continue to do though, I think, is mark out the holes and drill them out ready. So as soon as I get hold of or find the M2 screws and nuts, I can get straight on with it. So yeah, let's just centre punch the holes and get on with it. So there you have it. Now I just need to drill it out. So I shall move on to getting that done, and then we'll come back and see if I can mount at least one of them to see how it's looking, or possibly get the sockets in place. Okay, there. So here we go. Drill some holes in it. Doesn't look pretty, but it should hopefully do what I want it to. They're gonna, well, let's get them, just do have that, but only that won't sit that side, it'll sit that side like that. So I can put my sockets in this side and the heat will be underneath the resistors. So I just need to find some way of getting some feet on it so it can then sit like that, and then I can just plug in whatever I want. The trouble is I need to get and find some M2 screws and nuts, and so I can get it all assembled, and then obviously I've got to get some wire to connect the terminals up. So I'll have to go hunting for some more bits so I can get this project finished. Better get hunting. So I eventually managed to find a bunch of screws, machine screws and washers and nuts out of the bottom of one of my boxes, and I've been, as you can see, mounting them on. Just one left to go and get that mounted on. I'll lose everything, and then I can look at soldering, which I have actually started to look at already. How can I link these all together? And then that'll be the next thing, to get the wire on and then solder it all up together. I'm using this stuff, which is actually single core wire. Why pink? Because that's the longest length of single core wire I had hanging around, so I thought I'd use that. But let's get this last resistor mounted on. Bit fiddly. Get in there. Right, let's try it this way. Put the screws in. Line it up. There it goes. Marvellous. Get the washers on. Get the nuts on. Get on, you bugger. And then tighten it up. That's one. And two, and there we go. That's all the resistors and sockets mounted. I just need to sort out the wire now for connecting them up, and see, I've done a few already, worked out what I'm going to do, just a loop coming off there onto these, and then a connection between these two to connect them up into 4 ohm, 4.4 ohm, and then these ones are just going to be straight across the terminals here. So yeah, then I'll have to find some way of getting some legs or some feet so it stands up off of the ground a bit, rather than it being straight on there like that. Don't want it to be shorting out or anything. Yeah, so I'll get on and get some wire cut and get that sorted. So here we go, I've got it all fixed on and wired up. I just need to solder it now, so better get on and solder it, and then I can just check out the connections then, can't I? Still not quite sure how I'm going to mount it though. Anyway, let's get the fan on. Need to have some extraction on doing this, and I'm not sure how well this will do. It's not the most powerfulest of soldering irons, and I've got a standard, is that a 2.8 or something like that mil solder bit on there, so it's not, I don't know how well it's going to cope with these huge soldering lugs that I've got on here. Give it a go and see what happens, I suppose. And there we go. Hopefully I've soldered everything up. Yeah, looks like it. So I suppose I ought to check between the terminals to make sure that I'm getting what I should. Let's turn that fan off. So the way I've done it is that I should have between these two pairs 4.4 ohms, 4.4, and then they're just 2.2 ohms on their own. So see if I can get and see that. Now let's have a look at seeing what resistance I've got. So with the leads together I get 0.4 of an ohm, 0.3, 0.4. So if I'm getting 2.2 ohms, I'm going to end up with about 2.6. So let's see if I get that. 2.6, brilliant. And that one 2.6, 2.5, and now these are 4.4, so about 4.8, you reckon? What are we going to get? 4.8, marvellous. So even taking into account my multimeter's slight variance, I am getting exactly what I expected. So there you have it, dummy load. Hopefully going to help my hearing, because even with a small speaker, when you're testing audio circuits, it can be quite loud and distracting. So something like this should really help me to not go deaf. And you can see a bit of a close up, resistors on the one side, sockets on the other, so quite a simple thing. It is really just that, and then the plate itself acts as its heat sink. Don't need much more than that. So I put some wooden legs on it. It's not on the desk, is it? Help support it, you know. I need to put some rubber feet on the bottom, I suppose, to stop it from sliding around. I don't want it sliding off the desk or anything, do I, when I'm trying to use it? But there you go, that's about it. It's a dummy load for not going deaf. There's not much more I can say, really. There you go. Quite enjoyable. Just need to go and test it out on some circuits, get something together and give it a good going over. Well, there you go. If you did like this video, you know what to do. If you liked it, thumbs up, subscribe, and all comments are welcome. See you next time.